Welcome in Mathematics 9. This is Sir Michael, your teacher for this video. For this day, we will be talking about direct variation. And our objective, identify the related quantities in real-life situation and solve for the direct variation. Direct variation is defined as let x and y denoted two quantities where y varies directly to x or y is directly proportional to x. If there is a non-zero number k such that y is equivalent to kx and the number is k is known as the constant of variation or the constant of proportionality. So direct variation involves two quantities. Therefore, we are relating two quantities or two objects that have a direct relationship with each other. Such as if we're talking about direct relationship with each other, therefore, if we are given with an x object and y object, they have direct relationship between them. Where if x increases, always remember y also increases. If x decreases, therefore y will always decreases also. Therefore, kung ano pong mangyayari kay x, ganun din po mangyayari kay y. So they have direct relationship with each other. Yan. Where yung k natin is a number known as the constant of variation or the constant of proportionality. Such as K, yung nagde-define sa atin if our value of X will increase or our value of Y will decrease. So therefore, it is important for us to identify the value of K. So now, in our first example, we are tasked to identify the value of K. Where, always remember in our definition, in direct variation, we are given with y is equivalent to kx, where this will be our formula for direct variation. And also, this will be our formula in identifying the value of our constant of variation. So now, let us proceed with our first example. According to here, sabi, if y varies directly as x and y is equivalent to 24 when x is equivalent to 6, find the constant or the letter k. So therefore, always remember in solving the k, lagi natin gagawin is we need to write the given. In writing the given, we need to identify the value of our x and the value of our y. So in our given problem or given example, it is illustrated now. Now y is equivalent to 24. So let us just write it down. Y is equivalent to 24. And we have our x is equivalent to 6. Therefore, let us write it down. X is equivalent to 6. Now, after identifying the given, we need to identify the formula. So it is important for us to write the formula because this will be our guide in solving our K or the constant of variation. Such as for the formula of our direct variation, we have y is equivalent to kx, where we will now identify the k by substituting the given to our formula. So substituting the given to our formula, it will become solution. We have 24 is equivalent to k multiplied by x, which is 6. Since our task is to identify the k, therefore, we need to remove all of the values beside k. Particularly now in our solution, we have number 6. Therefore, by removing 6, we need to remove 6 by dividing both of them by 6. So therefore, dividing both of them by 6, it will become 6 divided by 6. So ang mangyari na lang ay k equals to 24 divided by 6 is equivalent to, we have 4. Therefore, our constant of variation is equivalent to number 4. Therefore, this is our final answer. Now, since we know now already the process in identifying K, so let us try it out in our second example. In our second example, you may pause the video and try to answer it on your own. And in the final part, please box your final answer there in your notebook. And afterwards, if you got the answer, you may now play this video once again and to check if your solutions and your answer is correct. Now, let us proceed with our example number 2. If y varies directly as x and y is equivalent to 12 when x is equivalent to 15, find the value of the constant, letter k. So now, same process, we need to identify the given. Identifying the given, we have letter x and letter y. In our given illustrated that we have x having a value of 15 and y having a value of 12. Next, we need to write the formula. Writing the formula of direct variation, we have y is equivalent to kx. Next, for our solution, substituting the given to our solution, it will become y is 12 is equivalent to k multiplied by 15. Removing 15 beside k, since we are looking with k, therefore dividing it by 15, both of them, it will become 15 divided by 15, it will become k equals to, we have 12 over 15. Where in terms of here, 12 and 15 is not yet the final answer because 12 over 15 should be simplified in the simplest form. So therefore, simplifying it, we will be thinking about a number that can be divided both 12 and both 15. So ano kaya pwede natin doon? So if you know the answer, you may comment in our comment box and to see if you really got the answer. We can divide 12 and 15 by what? We have, that's good. We have number 3. So therefore, dividing both of them by 3, to simplify it to the simplest form, it will become 12 divided by 3 is 4. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Therefore, 4 over 5 is our final answer. Now, since we are done with identifying k, one of the basic ideas in solving the direct variation. So now let us proceed to our example number 1 in finding the equation of variation. Equation of variation is used for us to identify the other values of x or y given such that with an initial value of x and y. So now, let us now identify the equation of variation. In identifying the equation of variation, always remember the first step in identifying the equation is that we need to find k. And after that, the second step is substitute k to our formula, which is the direct variation formula. So this will be our process in identifying the equation. So now, let us proceed with solving it and identifying the equation of variation. So always remember, the first step in identifying the equation of variation is that first, we need to write the given. In the given, we have that if y varies directly as x and y is equivalent to 15, so we have the value of y, which is 51. Sorry, it is 51. And the value of x, we have 3. And find the equation of variation. So afterwards, identifying the given, we need to now write the formula. Identifying the formula, we have y is equivalent to kx. Solution. So in here, we need to identify the value of our k, such that substituting the value of our y and x to our formula, it will become y is 51 equals to k multiplied by 3. But in here, we need to remove 3 beside k. Therefore, we need to divide both of them by 3. Therefore, dividing both of them, so 3 divided by 3, it will become k na lang. So let us write it down here. K equals to 51 divided by 3. So what will be the answer? Do you think what is the answer? So if you know the answer, feel free to comment in our comment section down below to check if you really get the answer. So 51 divided by 3 is, we have k is equivalent to, we have 17. So, nasundan po so far? Therefore, our answer here is we have 17. K is equivalent to 17. So now, since we now identified the value of k, so we can now identify the equation of variation. In identifying the equation of variation, simply is that we need to substitute the given k to our formula. Always remember, in identifying the equation of variation, only k should be substituted in our formula, such that it will become y equals to 17, then x. Therefore, this is our equation of variation. So, may tanong po. So far, is if you got the correct answer and you have a question, just comment in our section down below for me to check if you have a concern regarding the identifying the equation of variation. Now, so you may pause this video to copy everything for you to have notes and have a copy. So now let us proceed with our example number 2. For example number 2, you can pause this video and answer it on your own and identify the equation of variation and play it again if you want to check your answer is correct from our video. Now, let us identify the equation of variation. According to here, we have y varies directly as x, and y is equivalent to 24 when x is equivalent to 6. Find the equation. So always remember, the first step here is identify the given. So identifying the given, we have given. So we have x and we have y. According to our given, we have y is equivalent to 24 and x is equivalent to 6. Next, we have the formula. For our formula, we have y is equivalent to kx. Next, for our solution, always remember, in identifying the equation of variation, the first step is we need to identify the k value. So now let's identify the k value by substituting the given to our formula. It will become 24 is equivalent to x is 6 multiplied by k. Next, since our goal is identify the k, so we need to remove 6 beside k by dividing both of them by 6. So removing 6 beside k, so 6 divided by 6 is only k. And 24 divided by 6 is, we have 4. Therefore, we have k is equivalent to 4. So now, since we identified the value of k is equals to 4, let us now move to our equation of variation. So in equation of variation, so we will just substitute the value of k to our formula. Only value of k, ha? So substituting the value of k to our formula, it will become y is equivalent to, k natin is 4, then we have x. Therefore, we have our final answer, y is equivalent to 4x. Therefore, this is our final answer for the second example of finding the equation of variation. So now, since we are done with identifying k and the equation of variation, let us now move to the formal computation for direct variation, particularly identifying the unknown. In solving direct variation, we have some steps that we need to follow. Particularly in step number 1, we have write the equation of variation in terms of y is equivalent to kx. Followed by step number 2, substitute the known values and solve for k. Followed number 3, replace k in the equation in step number 1 by the values obtained in step number 2. Lastly, solve for the desired value. So now, always remember, in step number 1, we always do this one. So madali na po yan. For step number 2, we just need to identify or find k. So ito lang po yung tinutukoy for step number 2. And for step number 3, so we have replace k in the equation of step number 1 and find the values in step number 2. So therefore, simply means, ang gagawin lang po natin dito is we need to acquire the equation of variation. So ayan lang po yung step number 3. And lastly, we will now find the unknown for step number 4. So now, are you ready? So let us now apply the concepts that we have discussed a while ago and solve for the unknown. So let us now go to our first example for identifying the unknown. According to here, sabi, if y varies directly as x and y is equivalent to 12 when x is equivalent to 18, find the value of y when x is equivalent to 36. So now, let us solve this one and always remember the first thing to do is identify the given. So laging tandaan, puro given lagi ang una natin. Given. Given natin is we have, always remember if now we are identifying the unknown, always remember we will be now changing the form of our values. Particularly, according to here, we have our first set of x and y, and we have our second set of our x and y. So therefore, in our first set of x and y, always remember we need to write them as like x sub 1, y sub 1, 1 represent our first or initial given of x and y. And we have x sub 2, y sub 2. This is our second value of our x sub 2 and y sub 2, or our x or y. Always remember kung sino po yung unang nabanggit, siya po yung x sub 1, y sub 1. So therefore, in this case, our x sub 1 is 18 and our y sub 1 is 12. Followed by, in the next statement, find the value of y. So since y sub 1 is given, therefore y sub 2 will be the unknown when x is equivalent to 36. So therefore, this is our given. Now, let us write the formula. So for the formula, we have y is equivalent to kx. Since we're talking about direct variation, so therefore this will be our formula. Next, after the formula, we will now write the solution. So in solution, always remember for the first part, we need to identify the k, just like in our step number 2, Step number 2, we just need to identify k. Therefore, identifying k, we have given with substituting the first initial given. We have x sub 1 is 18, y sub 1 is equal to 12. Substituting the given, it will become 12 equals to k multiplied by 18. Next, after substituting the value of our x sub 1 and y sub 1, we will now identifying k by removing 18 beside k Therefore, just like the process that we are doing a while ago in identifying k, so we need to remove 18 beside k. So removing 18 is we need to divide both of the equations or both of the values in left and right to 18 for us to remove 18. So 18 divided by 18, it will become k na lang equals to we have 12 over 18. Kaya nga lang, unfortunately, 12 and 18 is not yet the final answer for k. Therefore, we need to simplify it further. So ano kaya yung number na pwede natin ipang-divide kay 12 at kay 18 for us to get the simplest form? Yan. So therefore, in terms of here, we will be thinking about a number that can be divided to 12 and that can be divided to 18. So 12 divided by a number, yeah, that's good. We have 12 divided by 6 and 18 divided by 6. So therefore, we will be coming up with our simplest answer. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is, we have 3. Therefore, this is our k value. Since we identified the k, we can now identify the equation of variation. Always remember, in equation of variation, only k will be substituted to our formula. So it will become y equals 2. K natin is 2/3 multiplied to x. Therefore, this is our equation of variation. Yeah. So now, since in our steps, we are done with our step number 3, the equation of variation. So let us now go to our step number 4. In step number 4, our requirements for identifying the unknown is that the equation of variation and the unknown and the second given. So now let us go to our whiteboard. Now let us now identify the unknown. In identifying the unknown, we need to write the equation of variation. Particularly, we have y is equivalent to 2/3 multiplied by x, such as you have x sub 2 and y sub 2. X sub 2 natin is 36 and y sub 2 natin is the unknown. So therefore, this is second given of x and y. We will be substituting it to our formula or the equation of variation. So now substituting it in identifying the unknown, let us substitute it will become y is equivalent to 2/3 multiplied by x, which is 36. Next, solving y is equivalent to, so 36 multiplied by 2, it will become 72 over 3. Next, y is equivalent to, so 72 divided by 3, we have, our final answer, we have 24. Therefore, y is equivalent to 24, or our y sub 2 is equivalent to 24. So let us just write it down here. So our y sub 2 is 24, or I'll just undo the boxes. Y sub 2 is 24. So please check. Okay, let us check if our answers are correct. According to the definition of direct variation, if x increases, therefore, the idea is y will always increase also if we are involved with direct variation. So now let us check it out. Our x value from x sub 1 is 18, going to 36. As you observe, it increases. Tama? So now let us check for our y. So our y is y sub 1 is equal to 12. And our y sub 2 is equivalent to 24. Therefore, our y increases also. Therefore, the entire problem or the entire example number 1 is correct. And our y sub 2 is correct since it increases, just like the x value or the x quantity. Therefore, this is our final answer, 24. Y sub 2 is equivalent to 24. Now, let us now proceed to our example number 2. So in example number 2, once again, if you want to pause this video and try it on yourselves, you may pause it now. And afterwards, if you get your answer there in your notebook, you may now play it again and watch if your answer is correct. Now let us proceed. So always remember the first step here is identifying the given. Identifying the given, we have our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. From here, sabi dito, if y varies directly as x and our initial value, we have y is equivalent to 24 and x is equivalent to 6. So let us write it down. Y sub 1 is equivalent to 24 and x is equivalent to 6. And according to our second statement, sabi dito, find the value of y. So therefore, y sub 2 is the unknown, where x is equivalent to 52. So now, let us identify the formula. Formula natin, we have y is equivalent to kx. For our solution, so we just need to identify the value of k first, followed by identifying the equation of variation, followed by the solving the unknown. So let us now identify the Okay, so once again, let us now identify the k. So substituting the first value or the initial value of our x sub 1 and y sub 1. So we have y is 24 equals to k multiplied by x, which is 6. Since our goal is identify the value of k, so therefore we need to remove 6 beside k. So therefore 6 divided by 6, it will become k only equals to 24 divided by 6 is we have 4. Therefore, our k value will become 4. So now, let us now identify the equation of variation. So in equation of variation, once again, we will just substitute the value of our k to our formula. So substituting only k to our formula, it will become y is equivalent to 4x. Therefore, this is our equation of variation. So next, afterwards, we will now identify the unknown. So in identifying the unknown, let us go to our whiteboard. I'll just clear this out. So identifying the unknown. In identifying the unknown, always remember, we need to write the equation of variation. Particularly, we have y is equivalent to 4x, such as we have our x sub 2 and y sub 2. So our x sub 2 in our second given, we have x sub 2 is equals to 52, where y sub 2 is the unknown. So let us substitute the given. So x sub 2 is 52 and y sub 2 is the unknown. So substituting this given to our equation of variation, it will become y is equivalent to 4 multiplied by 52. Next, y is equivalent to 4 multiplied by 52 is we have 204. Therefore, our y is 204. Now, so let's check if our answers are correct. So let us just write it down. Y sub 2 is 204. Let's see. So according to here, we have x sub 1 going to x sub 2. It increases. Next, our y sub 1 to y sub 2, it also increases. So therefore, 204 is our final answer. So therefore, y sub 2 is equivalent to 204. So that's it. So yun lang po ang i-discuss natin for this video. So thank you very much for listening, and you may watch the other videos regarding variation.